friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. So today I wanted to do another collection and declutter video. Today we're going to be talking about my blushes and bronzers thus far in 2019. I already uploaded a highlight collection and declutter, and I've done my eyeshadow palette collection and declutter. I will try to remember to link those down below, but you could also just check my playlist. Maybe I'll just put my playlist down below, something like that, in case you haven't seen those. But I have, if I counted correctly, between all of my blush palettes, blushes, and bronzers, I have 43. I would like to get that down to 30 or less. So we will see. I did really good with my highlight declutter, and I want to do it again. I'm going to start out with a couple disclaimers, even though they're annoying. If I don't do them, I'm going to get into arguments with people. It's just how it is. If I declutter something that's your favorite, don't get offended. I actually don't think I hate any of these. There's just certain things I'm not gravitating towards anymore, and it's time to give them a new home. Number 2 is do not ask me to send anything to you, please. I'm weird about giving away used makeup to people I don't know personally. I'm going to give first dibs to like Mackenzie and Morgan and people like that in my life. Not people I've never met before. I just feel weird about it. And also, don't feel the need to declutter your collection if you are content with the size. I feel like sometimes there is that push like, oh my gosh, I have to get rid of half of my things because YouTubers are getting rid of half of their things. Don't feel pressured to. Only declutter if you feel the need to. I personally feel the need to because I feel very overwhelmed and I want to just curate it more to exactly what I need and my preferences and things like that. I'm not a working makeup artist, so there's no reason why I should keep things that I'm not using on myself. You know what I mean? So yeah, without further ado, let's just hop into it. I guess, yeah, it's gonna be chatty, I'm sure. I love blush, so I could talk about blush all day. We're gonna start with my palettes first, get those out of the way. We're gonna do palettes, cream blushes, pressed blushes, and then we'll get into my bronzers last because there aren't very many of those. All right, so this first palette, I hold on to it every time I do a blush collection, and I feel like it's time to finally declutter it because I do not think I've opened this since my last blush collection. It is the Tarte Blush Bazaar. It is a double-sided palette like so. Comes with, I guess, 8 blushes and 2 highlights. I personally never use the highlights in these palettes, but I used to use the blushes like crazy, but I do not reach for it anymore. I do like the Tarte blush formula, but I think I like other things better. And considering I haven't reached for this in the many, many months since I filmed my last one of these, I think it's time to try to give that one to a friend. This next one was a gift from one of you guys. It's the Natasha Denona Bloom Blush and Glow palette. I was so flattered and excited when I was asked if I could get sent this. It's so pretty. It has 2 cream blushes up here with a little cover, a glowy blush, and then like more of a highlight shade. I think it's really pretty. I like using my beauty sponge just to dabble these on my cheeks. I really like this glowy blush, and this highlight's actually quite nice as well. I don't dip into it too often lately just because I feel like I was gravitating more towards this in the summertime, and I definitely switch up my blush for the season. I don't know why, that's just always how I've been, but I will keep this around because I'm sure come spring when things start warming up, I'm going to be using this like crazy. This next one is one of my favorite things of all time. This is the Likely Makeup Clown Blush Palette. I absolutely adore this. The shades are so pigmented, but they blend so nice. A little goes a long way. I love all the shades. The yellow blush has my heart. I was so scared of yellow blush, but now I adore it. This orange is so cute. This red is beautiful when used in moderation on my pale, pale skin. And this pink is just one of the prettiest pink blushes ever. I'm so amazed with this palette. I want her to come out with a part 2 so bad. I want her to come out with more makeup in general. Jordy is amazing. This was also a gift from one of you guys. This is the Alamar Cosmetics Colorettes Blush Trio. I'm not saying that correctly. But these are really cute. They're kind of sheeny, which I like. I prefer more of a sheeny blush to a matte blush. Even though the clown blush ones are matte, I still love it. But for the most part, I love a sheeny blush. It's just my favorite. I love dewy skin. And these are just, they're lovely. I love this corally orange. The peach is really cute. I really like this dusty pink. Again, this is one of those blush palettes that I feel like I gravitate more towards in the warmer months. So I haven't been using it lately, but I feel like I really will bust into this more come the warmer times. So I'm gonna hang on to this guy. Oh my gosh, this was my favorite this time last year. I got this last December. This is the Beauty Bakery Cotton Candy Champagne palette. Do you guys remember? Like who of you were here when I used this nonstop? I want to know because I feel like there was a very small amount back then compared to now. I loved this. These are so shimmery without being glittery. They are the most glowy blushes I own, hands down. They're so pretty. I used to dip into this one and this one nonstop. I've dipped into the other 2 as well, but these 2 were my favorites, which is funny because I feel like now I don't know. I guess it just depends on the season. In the colder months, I would totally use these. In the warmer months, I would use these. That's kind of how my personality goes. I haven't used this in so long, and I need to bust it out again. I'm totally keeping this because I adore these blushes. I can't believe I haven't used it in such a long time. Totally gonna use this again. These next three have my heart as well. Okay, these next palettes I'm gonna keep, just so you know. Both of these were gifts from you guys, actually. I've been spoiled with blushes and I'm so thankful. This is the Juvia's Place Saharan 1 blush palette. Granted, I do not use the whole thing because they just aren't meant for my skin tone as blushes. I could totally use them as eyeshadows and I really want to, I just haven't yet. But I do like these two when I want more of a bright neon blush. I still use it very lightly. I go in with a very light hand, but they are so cute on the cheeks. I'm quite a fan. I want to use the rest of them as eyeshadows at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. This next one has my heart. This is the Saharan 2 blush palette. The pink is one of my favorite pink blushes in my entire collection. I think it's so cute. I really like this brown when I want more of a neutral toned face. This mauve purple is really cute and I was surprised I liked it so much. I've used this a couple times, but it's just, I don't know, I feel like that's like a good summertime blush and I just haven't been in that mode lately. And I've actually used this as a highlight and it's quite lovely. I haven't used this yet, but I'm sure it would be a lovely blush topper. And again, these would all make beautiful shadows. I just haven't done it yet. This next one is kind of an eyeshadow palette, but it's also a face palette. They just made this an all-encompassing palette, but this is the Juvia's X Fumi The Queen palette. This is one of my favorite blushes in my entire collection, like period. You can see how used and abused and dirty it is around there. It's so dirty, but I love that shade. This pink is actually a really cute hot pink blush, and I've used the red very lightly and I enjoyed it as well. And this highlight right here is one of my favorite highlights in the world. It's so pretty. This is one of my favorite go-to just easy highlights. This is a palette I bring traveling with me if I'm going to go out of town for a day or two, just because it has my blush, my highlight, eyeshadows. It's such a good palette. I can't rave about this enough. Juvia's Place needs to make more 6-pan all-encompassing palettes. I would be so here for it. They also just need to make that blush and highlight as singles ASAP because everybody needs their hands on them. This next one is the Lunatic Labs Contour Book Volume 1. Cover is so cute with this like monster eye, and then the inside looks like this. I use this like crazy during my costume looks, but I also like them for regular looks as well. All 4 of these blushes are absolutely beautiful. This one and this one are my favorites though. These gray tone contours are really nice. I was scared of them, but they are so lovely and they mix really well with the browns if you want kind of a mid-tone in between brown and gray. The browns by themselves make beautiful bronzers or very warm contours, and I love the bright white and bright banana yellowy white powder. They are so good for brightening. I adore these powders so much. I'm so grateful that Lunatic sent this to me because I have gotten so much use out of it. It's so beautiful. Okay, that's it for palettes. Let's move on to my creams. I am such a cream blush person. I discovered it early in the year. Well, I mean, I knew it existed, but I finally started using it early in the year and now I cannot stop, won't stop. It's one of my favorite things ever. Let's start with my first cream blush. This is the Glossier Cloud Paint and Beam. I haven't used this in quite a while just because I felt like I was annoying using it every day. I got a good amount of it gone. Like, I've used up so much of this. I want to get more of the Glossier Cloud Paints because they are so effortless and they blend so nice. And this being my first one ever, it was so easy to use. I'm so impressed with it. I need to bust it out again. I think I will soon, so I'm gonna keep this guy. These next two I don't love, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna give them away. I bought this NYX Bear With Me Detox Me. I thought I liked it at first, but I don't know. It's just, it doesn't have too much pigment to it. It's really sheer, and it looks like it's gonna like have a really pretty popsicle-y kind of effect on the cheeks. I don't know if that makes sense, but for me it kind of blends out a little too sheer. And I don't know, I just don't find myself wanting to reach for it. I don't hate this, but I don't love it, so I'm gonna give that to a friend. And this next one I had high hopes for. This is the Milk Makeup Glow Oil Lip and Cheek Stick in the shade Flare. I bought this myself. For one, it's teeny tiny. I thought it was gonna be more of like their stick size, but it is teeny tiny. And same kind of deal, it's just, oops, I am dropping it. It's just a little too sheer. It blends out a little too subtle for me. It doesn't give me exactly what I was hoping for, so I'm gonna give that one to a friend as well. Honestly, both of these are very similar in formula, so if you wanted a cheaper alternative to these glow oils, look into these NYX Bear With Me Hydrating Cheek Tints. You might like that for the price better. Let's stick with Milk Makeup and talk about the Swish Lip and Cheek Stick. They actually sent this to me themselves and I fell in love with it. This is one of my favorite cream products ever to have existed. It's such a cute pink. It reminds me a lot of the pink in that Juvia's Place Sahara 2 palette, but in cream form. Blends so nice. I love the way this applies. I haven't used it on my lips, but I use it on my cheeks quite often. I've gotten some good use out of it, and I'm gonna keep this guy. I want more colors desperately. So these next two are the software blushes from Lime Crime. This first one is in the shade Zip. It's a beautiful, beautiful neutrally pink kind of color. It's very subtle. It's what I have on under my blush today. I'm not even wearing like a real blush today. I'm wearing an eyeshadow as a blush for my powder, but whatever. I can do a whole other video on eyeshadows. I like to use as blushes if you want that. But this is just a really pretty neutral cream blush. This is what I reach for when I don't want one of my like pops of color for a cream blush. This is always what I go for. These are more of a matte finish. They blend out really nice and they just stay like matte and powdery looking. Not powdery looking, just matte on the cheeks. They're not super glowy, so they'd be really good for you if you want a cream blush that isn't too slick. These are very matte, which again, I prefer more of a shimmery, glowy blush, but I can always top a powder one over it. And this one's called Hyperlink. I think I'm gonna give this one to a friend. I did enjoy it quite a lot. I raved about it many a time, but I have some brighter pink ones that I think I enjoy the formula a little bit more just because this one is matte and that's not my favorite anymore for blush. I just, all across the board, I prefer shimmery, glowier ones. And I just haven't found myself reaching for this one. So I think I'm gonna try to give this one to a better home. I do love it, don't get me wrong. I just don't think I love it as much as I used to, and I want to pass along the joy. Next I have some blush sticks from Colourpop. I'm pretty sure the only one I bought myself is Mini Me. I might have bought Under Pressure. The other three I got gifted from friends. Mini Me is just a really cute light pink. It's not too bright, it's not too neutral, it's just a really cute pink. This is a good go-to one for me. I'm gonna keep that one. The shade Under Pressure is a cute coral, and I actually don't think I've used this yet. This doesn't look used at all. So this one I definitely got from a friend. It's really cute though. I probably haven't reached for this because this is definitely more of a springtime color for me. So I'm gonna hang on to it. I love the formula of these Colourpop blush sticks. They are out of this world amazing. I think they're my favorite stick formula. They're really good. This next one in the shade Splash I've used a lot. It's a brighter pink. It's really, really cute. I actually like this all year round. I feel like it's good for wintry looks and also really good for summery looks. Which granted, you can wear whatever you want in whatever season, but for some reason I like specific blushes in specific seasons. This next one is Wallaby. This is a really pretty glowy mauvey purple one. I don't use this one too often, but I really, really want to use it more. It's really pretty. I think I've only used it once. I just haven't found the right mood to use it, but I do want to use it. And this last one is called Pretty Thing. This one is more of a rosy, deeper one. It's really, really pretty when I want more dramatic, darker, bolder looks. This is definitely my go-to for that one. Whew, I feel like my heart's racing from all this talking. Now we are gonna move on to pressed blushes. I've only decluttered 4. I need to step it up. I wanted to declutter at least 9 more to hit my goal, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Let's start with these 2 loose blushes. Excuse me. Can I try talking again? These 2 loose blushes, because I think out of all loose products, loose blushes are my least favorite to work with. I don't know. It's so much easier just to pull out a powder. I'm fine with loose for highlights and stuff like that, but for blush, I don't know. I think I'm a pressed person. I have the Apocalyptic Beauty one in Femme Fatale and the Glamour Doll Eyes in Hometown Murder. The Hometown Murder one is more of a rosy and the Apocalyptic Beauty one is just more of a neutrally pink. I don't really reach for these, so I'm going to try to give those away. I have a couple from Pixi. This one I just got sent and I've been using it. I used it a few times. It's the Pixi in collaboration with From Head to Toe. It's one of their glowy powders in the shade Wednesdays. Okay. I didn't know that's what it was called. I had no idea. It's really, really pretty. It's like it reminds me of those Beauty Bakery ones. It's just like a really shimmery, glowy blush. On a deeper skin tone, this would be a beautiful, beautiful pink highlight, but on me, it's a perfect glowy blush / blush topper. I've only used it a few times, but I really enjoyed using it, so I'm going to keep it around. Actually, you know what? I take it back. I literally just said it reminds me of those Beauty Bakery ones, and I really want to get more use out of that palette, so I'm gonna gift this to a friend. I don't need that one. These next 2 from Pixi, I'm also gonna give away. I do enjoy them quite a lot. They are the Pixie Glow Cakes. This one is Pink Champagne Glow, and this is Gilded Bear Glow. It's like this nice ombre from light to dark, so you can kind of customize your blush color. I used these like crazy when I first got them about a year or so ago, but I haven't reached for these in quite a long time, so I feel like that just means they're not really my speed anymore. So I'm gonna gift these to a friend. This one is so cute. So this is the Becca Songbird blush. It's such a good like peachy apricot blush. It's so cute. Again, this is one of my more springtime blushes. So I'm gonna keep it around for the next season. This one I held on to, but I don't think I wanna hold on to it anymore. This is the Anastasia Blush Trio in Pool Party. Looks like that. I mean, I liked it, but I just don't reach for it. I never reach for this taupey one. It just doesn't look right on my skin tone. I don't love the way these glitters look in this blush, but I did like this one a lot. If this one was a single, I probably would have kept it, but the other two just throw me off so much. I don't really reach for this little trio, so I'm gonna try to gift this one away. These two I got sent as presents from you guys. This is the Urban Decay Afterglow blush in the shade Kinky. Ooh, it's cute. I think I've only used this once so far. I forgot about it, honestly. It must have just gotten buried in my blush drawer. Ooh, it's really glowy. It's very subtle. I'm gonna keep it for now because I wanna play around with it and see if I like how it builds up and just see how I like it on my skin tone. For now, I'm gonna keep it. And then I also got this Mosaic blush from Essence. It's the Berry Connection. I haven't used this one yet. I must have, again, forgotten about it because it was buried in my blush drawer. Ooh, I like those shades of pink. I think I would actually really enjoy this depending on how the formula is. Let's give it a feel. Ooh, that feels really nice. It's hard to swatch blush because they just blend out really softly. I think I would actually probably like that. It has a nice glow to it, especially for wintertime. This is a good wintertime pink for me. I think I'm gonna keep that one. This next one is the Count Me In Colourpop, I almost said Colourpop. Colourpop Super Shock Cheek. Porcelain or Bridget gifted this to me. Oh, I forgot how pretty this one is. It's just a really pretty kind of neutrally rosy-ish. It's really hard to swatch blush. I think I'm done swatching blushes. But it's really pretty and I really like this formula. I like using this with a beauty sponge, my finger, or a regular blush brush. So I'm gonna keep this. I like this tone. Oh, this next one I raved about over the summer. This is my Double Dare blush. I think I've been raving about this for a couple years actually. It's such a pretty hot orange blush. I quite enjoy this one. I think it's really, really pretty. It's still one of my favorites, so I'm gonna keep it. And these next two are ombre blushes from NYX. The ombre blushes are one of my favorite formulas, or maybe I should say it was one of my favorite formulas. I feel like because I've discovered so many new blushes and blush formulas, this just isn't my favorite anymore. It's not bad. I just feel like it requires a little bit more building up than I'd like them to. If you like a more subtle blush, this would be perfect, but if you're like me and like a ton of blush, I feel like I have to pack these on a lot to get them where I want them. And I have colors very similar and formulas I like better. So I'm gonna gift both of these to friends. That's it for blush. Let's move on to bronzers. There are not very many, so we will get through this pretty quick. Let's go over my creams really quick. My Milk Makeup Baked Bronzing Stick. It's in the shade Baked. I use this every single day and I have been for quite a long time. This is forever a favorite. I will use this till the end of time, I'm sure. This is my Anastasia contour stick in the shade Fawn. I haven't used this in a long time and I keep meaning to pull it out and use this one instead of the milk one for a while, but I keep forgetting. I think now that I've said it out loud, maybe I will remember to, because I really want to get use out of this one again. So I'm gonna keep this. This guy I got for free in BoxyCharm for referring somebody a long time ago, but this is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Sunkissed. This never was gonna work as a highlight for me. It's way too deep, but for a little while, last summer or maybe the summer before, I was kind of dotting it in my bronzer zones and blending it out with my sponge, and it was a really pretty, very warm, glowy bronzer, but I don't think I really used this much this year, maybe once or twice, and I honestly just don't really feel compelled to use it again, so I think I'm gonna gift this one to a friend who might use it more. Oh, I missed a blush. Let's backtrack a little bit. I have the Natasha Denona Blush and Glow Duo. I really like this little duo. This is another one that I like taking traveling just because you have two in one. It's easy to keep together. This is a really pretty pinky glowy blush and I really like this highlight. It's more of a subtle highlight, but it's still quite lovely and quite nice, and I really like these just together in their little box. Back to bronzers. I have two pressed ones and they are my favorites and I don't intend on getting rid of them. I have the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. It goes nice on my skin when I wear powder bronzer, which is not often, but when I do, this is one of my favorites. It's very neutral warm. It's not too warm, but it's not so cool that it looks like a contour. And my other all-time favorite is the Becca Bali Sands. It's so good. This is actually my second one because I totally panned my first one, which is such an accomplishment because it takes forever to go through a bronzer. Again, I don't wear powder bronzer too often anymore, but when I do, these two are my favorites, hands down. I honestly don't feel a hole in my heart for any other bronzers right now, but just because these ones satisfy it for me. Now I have 3 powder ones from Apocalyptic Beauty. The Wasteland Warrior one is very glowy, like insanely glowy, and that's just not my vibe for bronzer. It's a bit too shimmery for me, so I'm gonna declutter this one. This one, Recluse, from the Spider Queen one, I honestly don't even remember, but just judging by the color, it just looks a little too cool toned for me to want to reach for it as a bronzer or even a contour. It's a little too warm for a contour, a little too cool for a bronzer, so I just don't feel like this color is right for me anymore. And then this one I got in October's box. This is the Glamour Ghoul one in Out of the Mist. This is a very great contour. And honestly, I'm gonna keep this just because on those times I'm doing costumey looks or want a gray-based contour, this is literally perfect for that. So I'm gonna keep this one around. All right, I decluttered 15 items. Now I'm left with 28. I made my goal of getting it 30 or less. I'm proud of myself and I feel like I'm comfortable with what I have. I still have quite a variety of blush options with creams and powders, and I feel like it's just a little more curated, so now maybe I will mix things up and use different things more often. Maybe some things I've forgotten about, like my Beauty Bakery palette or things like that. I'm really excited to dip into some of these again that I haven't dipped into in a while. So yeah, this was the end of my blush collection and declutter for 2019. If any of these blushes were your favorite, I would love to know, and I would also just love to know what your #1 favorite blush of all time is. Like I said, my favorite one is that one in the Juvia's X Fumi palette. It's too good. I wish it was sold as a single. If you made it to the end, leave, I don't know, leave like a pink heart emoji, something like that. Just leave me a pink heart, and I will know who stuck with me. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram. It's beautbean. Follow me there. I post every single day, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm posting most days here as well. I'm not sure if this is going up in December. If it's going up in December, then I'm trying to post every day. But if it's going up in November, then I'm posting most days. I don't know when this is going up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.